What's up guys? Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to take a look at BeQuiet's latest fans. We covered the black ones a long time ago, and today we're going to do a complete build basically that will revolve around these fans. Now we have the 120 right here and the 140 right here, but what's it all about? We have a triple pack of 120 and we have a triple pack of 140, which is interesting because usually what we get triple pack of 120 and two pack of 140. But regardless of that, this is really cool, and it can be quite interesting when we're talking about fan configurations and stuff like that. Now for the case, we're going to use their silent bass 802 in white, of course, and I'm going to use the Pure Loop 2 FX 360, and it's not going to be a regular, let's say, not a review based on fans, but we're going to check out how the Lightwings perform on the Pure Loop 2 FX and the AMD Ryzen 5 7600X, because I've never done it. And I really want to do that to show you the performance of the AMD Ryzen processor with the Pure Loop 2 FX and with the Lightwings. In this scenario, we're going to have them in white, so it's going to be quite cool. But before we go with that build and all the other shenanigans while building and stuff like that, let's talk about the box content. So as I already stated, we have 3 120 and 3 140. Inside the box you get, of course, accessory box, which contains, and this is quite interesting, contains this LED controller, which comes with 6 ports. You get RGB in and power with SATA connection. And the cool thing is that it connects as a 2.5-inch SSD to your chassis, so you can basically use 2.5-inch SSD base to mount this one. But that's not all, because you get the 3M sticker, double-sided 3M sticker, that if you, for instance, don't have 2.5-inch caddies, you can either stick it at the back of your case or somewhere else, wherever you think it's possible. Since I mentioned that it could be mounted as a 2.5-inch SSD, you get 4 screws to mount it. You get 3 times 4 additional screws for your fans for mounting them on the chassis, and you get the addressable RGB header that connects to RGB in on the controller and directly to your 3-pin 5V addressable RGB header on your motherboard. That's really cool. Now, when we're talking about some specs of the 140 version, we have 25mm of thickness when we're talking about 140. Fan speed goes up to maximum 2200 RPMs. Noise level goes up to maximum 31 decibels. Airflow in CFM 71.7. Air pressure is 2.3mm H2O. And lifespan at 25 degrees Celsius room temperature is 60,000 hours. But when we go to the 120mm fans, the specs are like this. The thickness is also 25mm. We have fan speeds going up to 2500 RPMs. Noise level is also 31 decibels. Airflow is 52.3. Air pressure is 2.6 and 60,000 hours lifespan. So basically the box content is the same in both, except you get here 120 and you get here 140. Now, taking a look at the fans, they really do look outstanding, and I do have to say, on each corner we have rubber pads for dampening and similar stop for the vibration and stuff like that. At the back it does look quite nice, minimalistic. You do have a sticker at the back which will be seen if you flip them for some strange reason, if you do a push-pull combination on the front or anything similar to that. 4-pin PWM header for controlling the speeds, and you get a daisy chain possibility with 3-pin 5V addressable RGB header for connecting it to a motherboard, and for daisy chaining another fan or something else to the other side. Basically that's it. Now it's time to build this one, and going to do all that I mentioned so I could give you some insights and how it actually performs. First of all, AIDA 64 Extreme Edition, we're going to check out the clock speeds and thermals, of course, and then Cinebench R23 as I did in the past reviews. So let's check it out. Now what I can say is that I really enjoyed building this build, not in terms of, BeQuiet and stuff like that, but in terms of actually using this controller, and it really helped out in terms of basically connecting the addressable RGB headers directly to that controller, and it really helps out with the cable management, first and most important. Even though I do have to admit all the cables were mostly just chucked at the back, but connecting everything, and I actually used the SSD caddy to place the controller at the back. But the fans, first of all, we did take a look at the Lightwings in black version, and today we're just taking a look of the white version. But what I didn't do, I think I did with the FX, the Pure Loop FX 360. Right here, the Pure Loop 2 FX is with the white version of 120 of the Lightwings, and the performance what it gets is quite outstanding, and I do have to admit. Also, I do have to say that placing the Pure Loop 2 FX on AMD socket is easy peasy actually. So without further ado, let's discuss the terminals and everything. So AIDA 64 Extreme Edition, as per usual, AMD Ryzen 5 7600X, went up to maximum 85 degrees. There's also some varieties for the case, but I'll mention that when I cover the case, because I do have to make additional video for the Silent Base 802 in white. First of all, because it's an interesting case, and you'll see in that video why. So AIDA 64 Extreme Edition, we got 85 maximum, and the maximum clock speed was 5450 megahertz. Now Cinebench R23, I ran a couple of tests, but I'm just going to mention the first one, and the rest I'll leave it for the Silent Base 802, because this is a feature that actually just this case has. So the fans are connected through the controller that comes inside the case, and you can control the fan speed right on top with 3 stages and automatic mode. So this is outstanding because it controls the fan speeds in varieties of speeds. So I'm just going to say the first version, and we got 5 tests. Temperature went up to 84 maximum, the clock speeds went up to maximum of, well, basically they were sticking at 5325 megahertz, and the score is actually quite interesting. It would be more interesting knowing the rest, but as I stated, we'll get to that part in another video. So 14,683, then it jumped to 14,861, then it jumped again 14,906, then it went down a bit to 850 and finished at 14,917. What's the interesting part is the all benchmarks, and this is the quietest mode of the case that you can use for the fans, because you have a controller at the back. But when you go and pump up the fan speeds to the maximum, the scores just show outstanding results. Of course, at the maximum speed, you're getting maximum noise, as already stated, and you already know the specs of the decibel level on these fans, the 120 and 140. But to be honest, you don't even have to go that far using the maximum speeds with maximum decibel noise, because I think the first stage from the case is optimal. But okay, I'll discuss that when we take a look at the case. So guys, the white version looks wow, and I do have to say they fit perfectly inside this case particularly, and I have nothing left to say. Since we covered the Lightwings in black version, I thought it was quite alright to cover the white version as well, give you some feedback about it, and basically we have the same specifications, so nothing drastically changed except for the color scheme, which actually does make some sort of a sense to present them to you guys, so you know, if you already haven't noticed it. But if you're a BeQuiet fan, you must have noticed it right from the start when they released them. So just in case, here's a video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and finally, don't forget to check the links in the description for the Lightwings in white version. We have 120 and 140, and of course, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button and click the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. And of course that Silent Base 802, because it's going to be interesting. We have loads of varieties of tests that will give you some feedback on the case, on the Lightwings additionally. and on the Pure Loop 2 FX360. Thanks for watching. See you very soon, guys. Bye bye.